Well, good evening and welcome to My Psychic Connection. I'm your host, Journey Ryan. It is Wednesday night. That means we are here with the wonderful Miss Trinity Black. What's going on, Trinity?
Hey, not much. Well,
Are you trying to light sage over there?
What'd you say?
Are you trying to light sage over there? I've seen you lighting that sage.
It was the candle.
Oh, okay. I seen flames, so I knew something was going on.
So captivating and beautiful. So, you and I, we spoke a little earlier about the two planets between, I believe it was Saturn and Pluto, wasn't it?
No, Saturn and Jupiter that are
coming together. So it's a lot going on there. I did read the article, but it's a very good article, so anyone can Google it and look it up maybe. Hi. So also I was looking at something. I learned a new word this week, Journey. Want to hear it? Want to hear it?
Yes.
Moxygen.
Moxygen.
Yes, it's called air oxygen on Mars. So basically, NASA is working on a situation where, like maybe around 2020, they're going to be able to have oxygen on Mars. Because like right now, they're saying, I believe our planet has like 13% oxygen or something.
Yeah.
But theirs is like 9 or so. So what they want to do is mix some chemicals inside of one of their drones and spread it throughout the land to see if they can get more. There is oxygen on Mars, but not enough to sustain life. But they're actually working diligently on that with their, I guess, drones or probes or whatever they use. So that's really interesting. Yep.
Yes, we are. Thank you so much, Christina. All right.
Yep, I'm really excited and eager to get our questions and answers in. You have such a nice following here.
Yes, we do. We have a great following here. I love talking to each and every one of us, here and getting a chance to, open up and talk to everybody around. And, we have not only the Facebook and Instagram, but we also have Twitter and YouTube. And we've got everybody on Spreaker and all the other podcast systems that we go through. So you guys can catch our show pretty much anywhere. Just go to, if you got an Apple phone or Apple product, you can go to podcast. You can find our shows there. If you'd like to get into the show live, you can go through Facebook or YouTube to ask your questions, and we'll be more than happy to answer it. Whatever group you're in, definitely like and subscribe. Like or subscribe, depending on if you're on YouTube or Facebook, and then ring the bell to get notifications so you guys can know what's going on with us and when we go live. So I know there's a lot of people in here and everybody's trying to ask questions tonight. So we're going to try to get to each and every one of y'all's questions. So bear with us as we go down the list. Hey, Catherine.
Hey.
All right. So yeah, definitely feel like we had a good show last night. We're going to have a great show tonight. And we love talking to each and every one of you. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. And remember, we are going to have a Saturday show. That show will start at 5 p.m. Eastern, and it'll be for a couple hours. It'll be myself and Holly and Faith and Trinity. I don't know if you're joining us, but you're more than welcome as we're trying to bring everybody together. So we can have a show and do some giveaways, give away some watches. We've got some great smart watches to give away, and we've got some free minutes for the website as we'll be doing that and a few other things. So if those of you have never been here, get a chance to check out mypsychicconnection.com. Get on there, sign up, get 3 free minutes and additional free minutes every time we add funds. All right. Hello, Ashta. I hope I said that right. I don't know. I'm really bad with pronouncing names, guys. Just bear with me. If I say it incorrectly, bear with me. All right. So we got lots of people on here tonight. So we're going to try to get to each and every one of the questions. Please save general reads and mediumship, things like that. The disclaimer's on the thing. Just go ahead and take a look. You can also go to mypsychicconnection.com to talk to a psychic on there if you choose to do so. We'll be more happy to have one of our wonderful psychics there take your question. All right. And Amy says, hey, both of you wonderful people. Well, hello, Amy. All right. Hey, Amy. I've seen you asking some questions about the classes, and those of you who are asking about the classes are something that are coming available. They are not available as of yet. They will become available into the month of January. We will be taking care of those classes. So just bear with me. They'll check them out on the My Psychic Connection website and My Psychic Connection Facebook groups and anything related to My Psychic Connection. That's where you'll find all the class information, where we'll be able to put that out there for you guys to join and learn and grab some of that education as to the things that you're seeking and learning about. So get prepared. It's going to be fun, and I can't wait. Hello, Cassidy.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hey, Cassidy.
And just so you guys know, and Trinity was one of my students. She trained with me for a couple years and got a chance to learn different things about herself, her tarot, her gift. It was a lot of fun. A lot of late night studying there.
Yeah, at the time I was actually doing your class and class simultaneously, and I really appreciated your flexibility with me because my children were toddlers back then. And sometimes when we would have to meet, they'd be in the background crying, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, it's bad enough I was trying to write a midterm paper, and now I'm in Journey's class, and my 2-year-old is crying for me. And I just was so frustrated. And I would you calm and you'd say, it's going to be all right. Just take a breath. And it was just so great the way, you were very professional. You kept track of everything and gave me really great evaluations. And I believe there was Sapphire in there also in your class and a few other people. And I just thought we all did well. I passed.
Well, there was all of you. We had the class where we're all together, and then there were the classes where we did everything one-on-one, gave everybody a chance to have that one-on-one meet with me so you can get to that spiritual in tune, which was yourself, and being able to focus on it and be able to ask the questions that you would ask that you wouldn't technically ask if you were in the group of people.
Right.
So it gave you that opportunity. So
yeah, I thought your insight was so good, and I was more new to it and afraid of my gifts. And you were like,
you were very terrified of your own gifts.
And I'm like, you don't want to see things about me. It's a deep, dark tunnel. And you were like, well, no, I can. And I felt like as an instructor, like you were professional. So it wasn't like, hey, there's my buddy Journey. You were an instructor. And I felt like that you gave me great analysis and always encouraged me to use my best and do my best and to stay authentic too. Because I used to tell you that. And you saw that too.
Well, you were one that used to second guess themselves when it came to your reads, and then you finally decided to start following your gut. And when you started following yourself and started following the first instinct that you got with it, because that was the correct answer.
Right.
Your readings became accurate and they became stronger, and you started developing stronger as a psychic yourself.
I carry the classes with me even years later because when I deal with everyday people or my children and here on the show also, I do very much try to encourage people to follow their gut instinct and intuition. And yes, come to us for confirmation and for information and all these things because this is very important. You know what I mean? What we do is a very important job. We are sort of the bridge between the spiritual realm and the natural realm. But also you want to check yourself and follow your intuition too and see how it lines up because sometimes you'll just get bits and pieces. So like I said, I'm very grateful for the calls we get on the show and on your site. I want to give a special shout out to people who have called me on the site at My Psychic Connection. I appreciate that also.
Great. Well, I'm glad that people are calling you on there as well as they call me as well. And I appreciate everybody. And they get the chance to have that opportunity to talk one-on-one, get a more in-depth reading than what they would be able to get here where we can't go into 100% full detail because we're airing out everything that's going on with them to the entire world.
Well, each time I do a radio reading, I count on the client who's asking the question to trust and believe themselves and use their memory and utilize their understanding of how their everyday application went. I know for a fact that when you and I are together, working together, we're not only answering the callers and the text questions, we're answering those who were not able to come on at the time because it was too crowded. And I know that we're also, like I said, we're giving accurate, good advice, but we're also saying what comes from spirit as most important. So a
Right.
person might think, hey, I'm just calling to ask about new shoes. I need an extra $200 or $1,000,
Hmm.
for these new shoes. I'm gonna call Psychic and see like that. And you and me, we might end up talking about, well, it's not so much about the money as it is your emotions. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Your
Why you're
fear is
attached to
blocking
shoes and
your
why do you feel like you need to be buying these shoes? There's a reason and an impulse in order
right.
to kind of answer the question. And yeah, just like you said,
Sometimes
the
it's just
question may
fear.
come with something else.
I will not be on the show or on my psychic connection and address and speak upon a lot of negativity because the person who has it already knows. It's like when
Hmm.
the person needs deodorant or to brush their teeth. It's something you already know. So there's no reason that I have to expound on it. But if a person is a jealous type, okay, or envious, and they call, I'm still loving them because it's like our children. You can't. This is
Exactly.
a family. This is a unity. This is a sister and brotherhood, and we've
Hmm.
all been there. We all fall short. But the thing is,
Exactly.
I'm not going to, expound on it. But sometimes that does block money. Sometimes that does hinder relationships. And, in our society, a lot of females might call and ask about men, but sometimes they already know the man's cheating. They know quicker than the psychic. Before you or me knew, they knew
Absolutely.
that night. But then they went and called us, but they already knew, and these
Exactly.
things happen, but the thing is with that, love them. And in a certain sense, we are ministers. We're both certified, or, you know what I mean,
Yes.
ordained. I am, and you are. So, like, we understand our purpose. We're like medical people. So we're not going to
Exactly.
sit there like, oh my God, you're bleeding out. Oh my God, like, yeah, yeah, burn this car up, or get her, get her. We're just like here to show love and um, receive and give enlightenment.
Yes.
He is in me.
Absolutely. Also, a certified therapist is now. That happened this year. I finally took my last courses for my therapy courses, so now I'm certified in all different types of therapy. So I'm pretty excited about that. That
I'm
was
super
that
excited.
was
Well,
my
my college
2020
degree is
pandemic.
for
Finish your
beauty.
courses and get it done.
Right next to your Reiki.
Right
I
next to the
love it.
Reiki and everything else I've done. But
Mm.
yeah, I mean, it's always fun. I like to expand, and not all not all things come from the a spiritual realm. Sometimes things come from the learning curve and learning experience, which is provided for you right here in front of you.
Yep.
And that's what I took these different kinds of courses, and I took a divinity class where I learned 78 different religions around the world, and of course graduated and got my certification with that, and move forward with it. But I want to know as much knowledge as possible, because not everybody is the same religion, not everybody thinks the same way, not all thought patterns are the same way, not all things are spiritual, some things are mental, some things are health, some things are multiple. There's multiple ways of seeing things, and there's a lot of ways to look at it, determine it, and understand it. So yes, I love learning. It's one of my favorite things to do, and now that's why I would like to teach, because now I get the opportunity not only teach but learn as I teach, because more knowledge is going to come with the information in which I'm going to be bringing to everyone. But I'll be able to learn new information and be able to broaden that education to not just myself, but to my students and my past students that have graduated, to give them the enlightenment in which they need, because, we all need that little bit of growth, and just a little bit can make a huge difference.
I agree with that. And I always do admire that about you because life keeps moving and we have to keep progressing with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe 10 years ago, 15, you could have just like do what you do, but you
Mm-hmm.
just keep enhancing yourself and innovating yourself, like a new journey, new journey, new journey, like that. And I
Every
love that.
time. Every
But I
time.
can
You know
relate because
me, I'm always on that go, go, go.
yep. I mean, with me, it was behavioral science was my major in college. So it's similar to therapy, but not quite the same
Mm-hmm.
exactly, but very similar. Some people might look at it like, oh, they're just psychics, but no, we're also practical and balanced. You know what I mean? It's like you said,
Right.
we come in all forms of life. We come as children, adults, whatever. Everyone has their handicap. That's why in astrology they have Chiron. He's the wounded healer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And sometimes humans don't realize it, but sometimes when it comes to like autism, or like my son has a speech impediment, so he gets speech therapy, that sometimes when we're born in that, we allow that to take place for the greater good, I believe. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? So, but we're all beautiful and special in our own ways. And, you know, I just wanted to share that too, that we all do have our sore points and weak spots, but I think that should be celebrated because it takes a lot of courage and guts to, you know what I mean, to basically move on and do things in the physical realm with things like that. And Chiron, I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
he's the guy on the horse. He's the wounded healer. And
Yeah.
he's got a really great Greek mythology mystery. I don't want to give the whole story out here on the radio, but he is definitely a situation where he was able to heal a lot of people and help a lot of people, even though he was wounded. You should never judge people if they have any handicaps or disabilities or speech impediments or memory or anything, because it might be Chiron.
Right. And we have experienced that when we were part of a different broadcast. We had experienced those trying to take from others because they couldn't give. So
Yep. Parasites, leech,
trolls.
bed bugs. They're
Apparently, they
like,
must be blowing up all the bridges because the trolls have been out in full force.
Yeah. Well, okay. I tell you, there's a certain troll I really like a lot named Danny DeVito. If you ever get a chance to watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like I have to keep watching Nightmare Cometh, but when he's the troll and he's saying something like, you got to pay the toll to get this boy's whole soul.
Mm-hmm.
You may have seen that episode. And he was like, no, it's soul, not whole. It's soul, not whole. But I just thought that was so hilarious. But Danny DeVito is great. He's a great troll. And we just give thanks to our friends, enemies, frenemies, trolls. Because like we all help each other. The trolls give us clarity.
Of who we don't want to be. Who we don't want to be.
I know. It's like, oh, okay.
There are clear pictures of what not to be. All right, well, we got plenty of questions here, so we're going to get to it now, guys. Remember, if you have a question, you're out there listening, don't hesitate. Facebook on My Psychic Connection, on YouTube, My Psychic Connection, and Instagram is My Psychic Connection. All of the platforms are under My Psychic Connection, so go there, check us out, ask your questions, and we're going to get started. You ready to do this, Trinity?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. Okay. I think this is pronounced Shannon or Shannon. Shanu or Shannon. I'm not quite sure. Like I said, terrible with pronouncements of names. But it says, how is my career looking in 2021? This year was not really good. Well, yeah, that seems to be, an ongoing thing that's happening for everybody that is, been going through this year. But as we go into 2021, I'm not going to tell you to expect the beginning of the year to be any better than 2020 has been. As we get to like March, April, then I see, an increase in finance and things getting a little better, things getting a little stronger, but the first 3 months, the first 2 months and the beginning of the third month look to be about the same as 2020 has brought you. Then that's when we see change around springtime, where it's springtime, by the way, guys, is my new year. I don't know why they put a new year in the middle of winter where everything's dying off, but I didn't write the book and I did not write the calendar, so we'll leave it at that. And so the thing about that is that you're going to see the change that happens for you is that, 2021 will get better, but I still feel like the very first quarter of it is still like the residue of 2020. So I don't want you to feel like that's not going to be something that continues. It does get better, and I do feel like you get to a better place. So I don't feel like you're stuck, but know that this where you're at right now is kind of gonna be where it stays for now until we get to that next step. So all right, I'm gonna hand that mic over to Trinity and let her give you some insight on what she sees. All right, Trinity. Unmute your mic, honey. Unmute your mic.
Oh my goodness. We're cave people on electronics, right? You do realize that. Shanna, I see what Journey sees. Now, here's my thing, though. What I'm seeing with the job situation in comparison, there was like certain people hindering your money a little bit this year, okay? There were choices made from other people that caused certain things to go on within your finances and your career. But I have really good news for you that and it's showing around June and July that you'll realize that you have some associates in your career that are past life associates that have been very valuable to you. I do see the increase coming around March with the money and doors opening. I see things with say with your career, more new ideals, you'll get more new ideals on things, okay? Also, but you're also going to get a bonding and special relationship basically restored, okay, this summer. That's all going to have to do with your career because it's not just money, it's where it's money and friendship combined on some level. So I see that. And also I see I guess going forward the next few months, there are going to be wasn't trying to say discounts. I was going to say disciplines. So that was for somebody or you, but the spirit pushed that word out. Disciplines. There's going to be unexpected money coming your way also, and unexpected emotional support in these next few months for you.
She says, yes, I get it. Still trying to work for it.
Right. Oh, the discipline?
I think she's talking about her money and striving and moving forward. And
yeah. It's only a few things that's holding that back and hindering it, and that's going to be resolved, and things are going to pick up more in a few months. And it is exactly what Journey's saying. It's a social situation more so than anything. Haha, I'm at work and need a discount. That is good. That is so good. Thank you for sharing that. But that's about all I get for her. But I wanted to let her know that she is going to run into, or she might already know them, people from her past life that are good people, and she's going to remember them. It's going to help in her career. Yep.
She said, steady and all. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got some more questions here, and this one's from Selena. It says, hello, I'm a bit concerned about my sister because last night she came and talking about she stabbed a girl in the heart because this is not really something that all right, Selena. Let's take a look here. She had no marks on her body or anything. Saying, okay, she didn't mean literally stabbed anybody in the heart. I see a lot of falseness with what she says, Selena. I honestly, you got to consider what's going on here. And with all of that being said and what she's got going on, I feel the breakdown. I feel like she's just all over the map, but I don't feel like she literally stabbed anybody in the heart. I honestly, there would be something that would be in the news. I'm just saying. She didn't really do any of that. So I'm not getting any truth to her story. So if she's telling you that, I don't feel that she's telling you the truth. She might have stabbed her in the back, like figuratively speaking. God, I can't pronounce that word tonight. Figuratively speaking, but as is a physical act or physical violence, I do not see that. So, and if she did do something to that, you would need to convince her to take it to the police. But I don't get that was real. So if I were you, I would dismiss that. Definitely feel like you should dismiss that. Yes, she is a professional liar. That's why I didn't believe her. Well, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. That, to me, even when you explained it, even if she had bruises and a bumped head, I mean, I'm just saying in general, I didn't see that at all. And the thing is that, you know, yeah, something's not right. I don't know if she's trying to look big and bad and ferocious. I see mind altering energy, so I'm going to say along the lines of being on drugs. So I can't say that any of that was real, and that the only thing she saw was what she saw in her own head, or she wanted to come off by being a Billy Badass and a storyteller. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Trinity, and she's going to give you a little bit about what she sees over there on the cards.
It's true. I am looking at the cards on this one.
Yeah, I seen you over there dealing.
Well, not the sister, but the writer. She's got very strong mental abilities, and she's in a position right now of, I want to say healing, but healing's not really the appropriate word. It's more like coming into herself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she's in a position like present day right now of stability. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
she's done a lot of basically spiritual and emotional work on herself. I'm talking to you. And with this going on, the sister is sort of sensing that, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it was a show, but it was a great form of manipulation to get you out of where you're at, of the stability and the mental, your mentality of where your mental is. Okay. Basically, it's like people around you, not just your sister, other people too. They're seeing and sensing that you're growing and changing and transforming, and you have good things in store for you. Okay. They know this. So it's sort of like a more like an envious thing. It's like, I want to bring her down too, and it's just manipulation with words and emotions and everything. So, like, if she had gotten jumped and she came back all healthy and no bruises, no sign of an altercation, it still goes back to, so why are you bringing me this now at this time? Why today? Why today? I'm going to tell you why today, Selena, because you are in a position of stability. You're in a position of basically being self sufficient, and also, eventually as you go on down the road, there's people that you want to help, that you want to look out for, but you're also in a position of blending with your higher self and being in tune. That's what I'm looking at when I see the healing, and you have strong mental abilities. So it's sort of like a person, when they see that strength, it makes them afraid, very intimidated by your mental strength. So she's throwing different things at you to throw you off guard, to throw you off your balance. That's all. Everything else, what Journey's saying, the drugs, the lies, all these things, yeah, of course they're existing, but you have to almost look at, well, why is she bringing me this, and why is she telling me now? Even though we all know it's a lie, but okay, so why though? It's spiritual and physical, because you have good material things also. And that to me is good news.
Yeah, Selena, just be careful with what she says and what to believe. Because I'm going to say to you, and I'm saying this to you as an advisor, is that, you need to be careful, and that you need to only believe about, I would say, 10% of what she says.
90% of what she does. I mean, this sister here, she will take Selena, okay, and be all nice to her and buddy buddy, and then rip her apart. Then be all nice, buddy buddy, rip her apart.
She says, yes, I've worked on all of that these past months, talking about what you had mentioned to her just a minute
And,
ago.
and the rewards are there. They're not all the way there physically though. But don't give up. But that's not just your sister, but other things will come up too. Like it just could be like a traffic jam or little things like that of something you're trying to do and it becomes frustrating, but you mustn't give up. Like, okay, you can have a bad day, but when you wake up the next day, make it a good day, make it a better day. Like from wherever you're at, try to feel better because you are blending with yourself and you are on point. And I'm really just glad you brought this question to Journey and myself about your sister, because the bigger question is her motive for even wanting to say that to you. Like you almost think, does she want you to fight?
Right. Well,
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
my
she's
sister.
looking to, to me, it looks like she's building up her ego. She's trying to look like the all powerful, and her life is such a struggle. And,
Yeah,
this is my life on the streets. Well, you
I
don't live
got
your life on.
jumped, but I
Yeah,
stabbed her in the heart. I'm a
yeah, exactly.
bad
Yeah,
mamma.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, the thing about it is that, she's just, she's a bad mamma jamma in her head. In reality, if any of this were to be in front of her,
Mhm.
she would run like the Dickens. You wouldn't even
Oh
see it
boy.
hide her hair over. You'd be standing out there thinking you're Billy Badass, and you turn around thinking you got backup, and you ain't got nothing but wind
Whoa.
from the back of her running. So she's
Right. And
just
Selena
definitely
knows
not
this.
one to trust.
Yeah. Selena's got to be having a good laugh on that one. She knows this. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's pretty easy to see there. I mean, that's pretty much where we're at when it comes to the sister and the mentality of the sister. So,
I mean, Selena, I've had to do this with my daughter, one of my daughters before. I'd say, just send me a text message. Like, don't even talk to me right now. And let the sister text you because if she's always going to keep lying, you might as well have it recorded and send it back or something. So
right,
later
have it
on, she says
recorded,
something
write a
different.
book about it.
Yeah, write a book. Yeah, that is funny.
Through the eyes of the confused.
I love that. It was
The
a
eyes of the
foggy, stormy
confused and the
night.
storytellers. You know what I mean? That's basically where she's at with this, and it's just not where that needs to be. All right, guys, we are going to take a short break to take an ad from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. So stay tuned. All right, we are back, and tonight's show is brought to you by My Psychic Connection and My Press Marketing. My Press Marketing, get your marketing needs at mypressmarketing.com and go to My Psychic Connection where you can get your psychic needs and get the answers in which you seek. Sign up, get 3 free minutes and additional free minutes every time you add funds. All right, guys, and Selena said thank you so much for her reading and the information. So yeah, definitely just be wary of the sister. I don't trust the sister. I do feel like some parts you can tell when she's being truthful, but then there's just other parts that's that's not true. That's not true. That's
Yeah.
not true. And you just keep going through it and going through it and going through it. So definitely, just be careful because
And I feel like Selena's looking into astrology. So keep looking into astrology and checking on your natal chart and how the planets are affecting what's going on in your life, if that's where you're led. But when you get the star card, it's just like you see all of that. But that came to me too. Yeah.
well, good.
Hmm.
All right. Nina says, last time I talked about my finance, y'all said they would change in 2021. Well, 2021, what will it be? Like, what do you see me doing? Well, there was opportunity for you to, build some entrepreneur stuff, but there was a work from home type situation that I seen coming your way. And going into 2021, that opportunity was going to build for you. So you were going to see the opportunities, that lie ahead that make things a little bit easier for you. But as for that job coming through and actually knowing anything about it, you would see that towards the end of this year. So you will know about the opportunity at the end of the year, going right before we get into like New Year's Eve. So I would say around the 30th, 29th, 30th, right around that time frame, going into the new year with actually applying to get the job and then receiving the job by the end. I would say by the end of the month of January. So that would change to give you a entrepreneur energy, but I also feel that will give you the chance to work from home where you could work on an entrepreneur situation. But I'm also seeing, there are other opportunities like regular paying jobs that where you would go to a 9 to 5 type situation. But I really believe the work from home position would be the best one for you, including the opportunity to, to work for yourself. So not only do you want to work from home, but you want to work for yourself as well. And yeah, awesome is right. She says that, okay, that's awesome. Well, the energy that circles it is a big deal. And, this is something that you've been looking for a while. So, it's just time for you to, kind of open yourself up to that and, keep your eye out because that opportunity is coming for you and for you to apply for it, get the position, get the interviews in, and then be able to work from home. She also says, I would love to own my own shops. I've been wanting to open a couple things. Well, what I got with you opening up your own shops, I do feel like your dreams do come true when it comes to having a shop. But here's the thing first step first. First is working for home for a company and then being able to have the finances to back you and be able to, move that forward. So the thing is that once you go forward with this work from home job, the creating your own shop will begin. Now, a physical shop, not right away. I see a website with products and things being offered on this website, which can lead to the physical shop. So the backbone of your website will become the foundation to your shop. So that's what I see coming forward. I'm going to hand it over to Trinity and see what else she sees here with it as she's smiling big.
I am smiling. Thank you for reading all the cards for me, Journey. I thought I'd throw some cards on this one.
She says, I have a 3-year-old and work.
And I believe, there are a lot of jobs online. Okay, so if I saw the same thing pretty much at the same time as Journey, like within a second away, the first thing that's jumped out was, okay, she's going to have like 2 jobs for a little while. One is going to be like a regular labor job, like at a convenience store or cleaning or something, just getting like a little hustle on just to bring the income. Working at home will be great too, but you're going to have to build up your confidence. So I decided for my reading, instead of reiterating, I'm just going to say what Spirit is saying also along with Journey, which is you need more
Oh my God.
about your shop.
This is awesome. I really hope things do work out.
They are going to work out. They are. And the only reason that it's hope instead of no is because you just have to define and clarify more things on your shop. And I say your shop because I agree with Journey that first and foremost, you got to get that stability financially. And you're right. A 3-year-old, I have children, so I understand. And Journey, he's had children. So yes, children are demanding and they do come first. So you definitely have to secure that financial stability, which what you're probably asking is where are the opportunities? They are there and you're going to have more coming. It's all about how far you want to take it, basically, how much you're willing to do for it too. So with that being said, once you have that financial stability and backing, you just would have to clarify more on your business, on your products, how much you're going to sell. I can definitely see an online store and also turning into a physical store, like a 3D, three-dimensional store also, and prosperity coming to you. But you'd have to have that patience, like a gardener who puts seeds in the ground that you can't see and can't understand all the time. I mean, unless you study it and learn it. But the gardener, they put the seeds in the ground and they water it, and the sun comes up and they grow. And that's what's basically going on. Meanwhile, for your career, this is coming really strong. 1 second. A lot of things going on with your finances are being blocked by doubt right now and indecision. So you're definitely in a situation where clarity will definitely help you a lot. And so my thing is, and these are going to give you tips for when you have your own business in your shop, the balance is extremely important. I know you love your daughter, you love your family, you have other obligations, and you got to make time for you. As far as exercise, taking a walk, don't beat yourself down. You're going to have to change your whole vocabulary as far as putting yourself down, because you uplift other people. You'll have to start talking to yourself like that more.
She wants to open a store for witches or spiritual people. There isn't one around here that I know of, so that is what I'm hoping to do.
I feel like the time for that, and that's like the big heavy thing I got from spirit too, was like the time for that is now. The time for your spiritual shop is like tonight, tomorrow. It's now. You it's not so much of the opening, it's more of the skeletal structure of it, of you, you know. I'll show you an example.
The
Excuse me 1
backbone.
second.
The backbone of your business, in which you're trying to build, is opening that door to having a website, getting people known, getting the name known out there, talking about a store that's coming soon, kind of getting that all put together. So I'm going to hand this back to Trinity as she has returned.
I wasn't that psychic because I didn't see that coming. But okay, so here's a situation where I have this little hobby where I'm making these feathers, okay? And I spin it around, and feathers can ward off evil and all type of neat things. And each of them have different designs. And they're just for my own personal satisfaction and my own personal hobby. They're not like for sale or anything. But you can understand how just something so little like a hobby, like whoever whoever designed this little thing for my obsidian crystal, isn't it beautiful? But it started with an ideal, but you also need clarity with it. So that's the only thing that you need to work on. And that's why I tell you, you can start as soon as possible, whether it be making candles, just these little tea lamps. You won't spend more, maybe $50 just to buy a home kit for candles, and you can actually start like the groundwork, and at Christmas maybe give out a few little packages. Yes, you can do that to like the few people you love. You can give a little satchel of tiny crystals, and you can have candles. And right now, while you're working your regular job or your home online job, just to support the money and everything of it, you can also advertise to some of them every now and then,
Right.
like
And Nina says she loves that.
oh, well, I'm glad to hear that.
See, I told
Yeah.
you it was a good idea. What I tell you, when I seen it, I said that's really nice, and people are going to want those. You show them off, and people will want them.
Oh, what, these, the feathers?
The feathers, yes,
Oh
I
yeah,
told you.
bunches of them, and I do prayers over them. And my daughter, like in astrology, she's first house Gemini. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you're an air sign in your first house, you're rising. So here goes some feathers, and
Mm-hmm.
she used them. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think maybe I will sell them one day. But I'm definitely going to buy from you, Journey, and your tarot cards.
Yes, I do have my own deck of tarot that I wrote. There's two decks that are out. There's a third deck on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I can't stop playing with them. I'm sorry. I'm just like.
It's all right. You're allowed to obsess over them. She says, I can't wait for things to come out into the light. Well, don't worry. They're going to, and things will come about. As for your question, I know, Nina, you sent me one on Facebook. I will get to it. I haven't forgotten. All
So
right. She says,
loyal.
thank y'all so much. This was so helpful. We're glad we could help.
Yes, and that
All
goes
right.
for anyone who wants their own business. You don't always have to wait until the machinery's there, and like I mean, eventually it could, like in a year or two, it could get to
Uh-huh.
factory stuff. You know what I mean? But if it's really a heart and a passion, you can start right here, right now. Whether it be music, writing, candles, whatever you're into, just find something you love and you're good at and do it. I feel another caller. I'm
I
sorry.
do. I'm looking at everything coming up here, and you're looking at Christina, who wanted to know, would like to know which do we see happening first, Ivan and her marriage or children? Um,
Mm.
when I see the two of you coming together, I actually see I see your engagement first. So I see the engagement between the two of you first and a planning of a wedding. And it just so happens right before the wedding is to take place, you look to be from 3 to 4, I would say 3 to 4 months pregnant. So, as to answer that question for you, I'm going to say marriage comes before the child in the way that you're engaged and going to get married and the child's not born yet, but technically the child comes first because the child is conceived before the marriage. A little tricky, but that's how I see it. I'm going to pass that over to Trinity and see what she's getting over there.
I feel like she's in the quiet before the storm because in the storm in a good sense, like water replenishes the earth storm, not bad storm like towers. So the cards are telling me that when things do start to pick up concerning your question about marriage, children, and Ivan, everything will be going very fast. There's not going to be, and I understand the last few months, things have been delayed, things have been taking long, there's been detours, and you know what I'm talking about, especially last week. But anyway, I'm just saying things are going to pick up really quick. So this is a small, quiet space for you to really determine like how you want things to go, sort of. Because right now there's a lot of, I want to use the word probable futures for you, for everyone really, but for you in this situation with your question about Ivan, you and the children, things are going to start going really fast once they get started. I see it like Journey's saying, like it's like, oh, I'm pregnant, oh, I'm married, oh, this, oh, that, oh. A lot of transition, a lot of change. Um, well,
Christina wants to, she says, laugh out loud. So if I find out I'm pregnant first, no, the pregnancy happens after the engagement, from what I gathered. So
yeah,
technically, the marriage is going to happen before the child's birth, but the child will be conceived before the wedding.
right. And I'm glad you clarified that because sometimes in tarot, like if you ask the question, they'll just keep saying the same answer. The tarot will. So if the psychic says it, it'll still be this, like it would be that. So sometimes they just hit the next area that's right next to it, which is like I'm saying, that it's a situation where you have to create time and space for yourself also. And it's gonna look like your finances and physical things are limited. You almost feel trapped a little bit, but you gotta just be patient and endure through it, keep diligent work and stay focused. But all these things are concerning your question, everything is going to start moving really fast once it gets started. And we're talking like in a few months from now. So you might want to get ready. You might even have to relocate with this. That's why I'm saying it's going to be a lot. And from a psychological point of view, there are stressors in life. They're good stressors, but marriage can be stress, moving can be a stress. Anytime we do something new and different out of our ordinary mundane, it changes things. So you have to actually prepare yourself for these things too. Hey, Tiffany.
Well, the thing about it is she also asked if we found a month. The only thing that I saw was September. At the end of
Mhm.
September would be the time frame in which she would more than likely actually wed.
Mhm.
So the baby wouldn't come until that following year.
Mhm.
because the baby would only be she would only be around 3 to 4 months pregnant. So she would still have, she would be going and having that baby sometime in the end of January, February.
She could, and sometimes if you want it really bad and rush it, sometimes it could delay the baby from coming. It's like from a
Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
yeah. Just gotta enjoy what's there. They're going to actually speed up more than they are now. You might even have to keep a journal, a calendar for your appointments, all that. I see lots of shopping involved too. That's why I said when your money gets short, don't freak out. It's part of the breathing in, breathing out with money. Like it's going to come in and it's going to go. It's going to come in, it's going to go. Don't freak out though.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep on going here. We got more questions here, so I got to scroll back up so we can get to those questions. And all right, let's see here. So where am I? Okay, we got to that question. All right, now I know where I'm at.
Yay.
All right, so Amy asked the question. She says, while we're waiting for classes, and what can we do to begin learning about our own gifts and just a general understanding for the divine powers? All right, guys. So like I teach everyone in my courses, and Trinity knows because this was day one of the very first course, day one. Who are you? Who are you? What do you know about yourself? This is where we need to reflect. So first we need to figure out, who am I? Well, I'm this type of person. I do this, this, and that. Okay. So that's the type of person you are. Now, when it comes to following your own advice that you hear in the back of your head when you're level-headed and you're thinking normally, when you're pissed off and you want to get down to the point of things because you're tired of doing it. So, there's your answer. What happens is you recycle it back and you're like, no, that's not right. I don't want to believe that because that's not what I want them to be like. Well, no, it's not about how you want them to be. It's about how are they being. So now you've already attuned yourself to your actual ability, which gave you the correct answer inside your head immediately, but yet you chose not to listen nor to hear it because you wanted to automatically assume that this person was something else or the situation was something else. So the first step to tapping into yourself is knowing oneself and to stop doubting yourself. You're going to learn that 99.9% of the time, your first original thought on what you were thinking about the situation you were trying to, let's say, unmask or see or feel was correct. But you didn't want to believe that. But I don't understand why you don't want to believe that when that was the very first thing that came to mind. And I'm going to tell you, 99% of the time, you were correct. But you didn't want to believe it. You wanted to doubt it. Now, this is where psychics have a problem reading themselves. And I tell people all the time, that's where the saltwater pan, if you guys have listened to previous shows, I talked about psychics that want to read themselves. Take a pan of salt water, put your finger in it, put your deck, make sure you shuffle your cards, get them ready, and then put your finger in the salt water, look at the reflection of the person in the water, and you can read yourself. The reason you're touching the water is you're providing your energy to go into the water, so the reflection that you see in the water has an energy signature. The salt water will neutralize any kind of negativity, but it won't affect the reading. So that way you don't pick up negativity that you've already felt yourself being reflected back at you. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to take that, because what'll happen is you'll see it twice in your own mind's eye, and it'll double the intensity of what you are trying to, what you're trying to feel or what you're trying to read or how you're trying to, look at these different situations. So The thing is that when you are starting to start off, the first thing you need to know is you. The second thing that you need to know is to stop doubting yourself. Don't make up excuses for other people's actions. They're not your actions. Why do you need to make an excuse for someone else's actions? That's like saying, well, I know that Sally didn't mean to punch her in the face, but she was mad. Let Sally tell Sally why she punched Mary Sue in the face. Why do you have to come up with the reason why she did it? Maybe there was another reason. You don't know that. The thing is that we don't need to make excuses. That's the whole point of that. The thing is that you need to start paying attention to the original thing is because back in the day, so and so called her, a bitch, and that was the real reason why she punched her in the face. Yeah, she was mad, but you didn't show why that was. So you need to know who you are. So balance who you are, get a chance to kind of figure yourself out. Where do your abilities come from? Every single psychic reads differently. They're like fingerprints. Everyone has their own signature. So your ability may not come in the same way my ability comes. And that's why when I give a course and why I do classes, I don't do it in these big groups of people. Now, I'm not saying I don't bring the classes together for everybody to have like a field day, get a chance to bounce things off other people, talk to them, see what they learn. That's great because then you build a great psychic community that way. But the one-on-one courses of trying to figure out where did you get that answer? Where did it come from? Where did it feel like it came from? Did it come as a thought pattern? Did you hear it with your ears? Did you hear it in your mind? Did you see it with your eyes? Did you get images? What, how, where, when? Did you smell it? Did you feel it? What did you do in order to get it? That's how we get there. But first, you got to know you. You got to know your body. You got to know how you think. You've got to know what's happening, because if you get energy and you're getting thoughts that aren't yours, but yet you don't know you're not going to be able to tell the difference between your thoughts or what Spirit's trying to get you to know. So you have to know you. That is the beginning stage. That is the beginning of the classes that I teach. And she said, what did Amy say here? She says, off question here, how do we get to truly know ourselves? Is there a central thing? Well, you got to know you. You know your thoughts. You know how you feel. You know what you see. That's you. You know the way you think. If you're a humorist and you got a lot of humor and you think you're funny, you'll come up with funny slangs. You'll come up with funny things. You know you. So you'll know the right person. Don't discredit anything that you feel. If you're a straight shooter and that's the way you say things and the things that you think in your mind are cut dry and they may be funny to you and it may be something you want to say, but you don't do it because it'll hurt their feelings, but your thought pattern. Your thought pattern's like, nope. How's that? Does this dress look good on me? Nope. That's what you're thinking in your head. You're like, well, I don't think that one's your color, so let's try a different one. Rather than saying, no, that dress does not look good on you, because you're afraid you're going to hurt their feelings. So then you interact other feelings into it. So just know your thought patterns is where I was going with that. So know your thought patterns. So once you know your thought patterns and how you are, you're going to be able to tell if you're getting, thoughts that are coming from Spirit that tell you what these answers are. So you get a better understanding of what's happening. So you know how to balance things out. So you're not confusing your thoughts with what Spirit's trying to tell you. Now, if you're seeing things, you're going to know, what types of things do I typically see with my own eyes? And how can I tell the difference between what is real and what Spirit is trying to show me? Because what Spirit's trying to show you will be at a different resolution. It's like looking at 720 and 140, high definition. SD, high definition. So you're going to see things completely differently when it comes to that. Sometimes it'll be black and white. Sometimes it'll be color. You will know the difference. Now, I know a lady who is she's visual, so she gets to see things. Now, mind you, she's been colorblind her entire life. All she sees is dark, really dark grays and blacks and white. That's all she can see. But she can tell you when she gets her premonitions what color they were wearing. Everything's in color. But when she sees through her physical eyes, she cannot see in color. So that's the types of little notice things that you've got to notice about yourself first in order to get to that first step, which would bring you to opening yourself up to even taking one of these courses. It's good to have book knowledge about, tarot readings and things like that, but tarot is just an extension of the tool of the psychic. So oracle cards are good for those who are not psychic. Oracle cards will provide the information directly on the card. It will connect to the energy surrounding you. That energy will be channeled through you, and the oracle card will help provide that for you. So if you're not psychic on that level, you're not going to have to worry about it because that's going to be provided for you. But on a bigger level, a Rider's Waite or something to that, an actual tarot deck, not an oracle deck, but a tarot deck, with that, you are going to be able to open a whole new level of who you are. It's an extension of who you are. Not only you're going to be able to hear, you're going to see, and you're going to get thought patterns that come along with it, depending on the situation. And the cards have meanings themselves, so you have to add those equations to what you're hearing, feeling, and seeing to what is being laid in front of you in order for it to all come together for you to tell that person in front of you what's next, what's going to happen for them. So I know that was a lot of information. I'm going to pass this on to Trinity, as she was one of my students and took a lot of my courses. So she'll be able to tell you a little bit more on how to connect with yourself and a little maybe about how she did it to help clarify. Trinity?
Hi. I'm a Pisces, and in Zodiac they say that Pisces about like self-sacrifice and like the hangman upside down, and we're like the 12th house, okay? So I've spent a lot of years trying to be there for people, but I'm not a people pleaser. Yet, when I was taking the classes with Journey in college, I was running into the obstacle and challenge of balance of my friends and fun and entertainment and school and the children and the house and the income. And I realized I had to make a choice. I had to let all my friends know, like, okay, I need me time. In that sense, you have to be selfish also. Even to apply a lot of what Journey was just speaking on, there might be certain people that you might have to sort of push away a little bit because their thought patterns are so different and removed. Okay, spirit said remote. So let's follow spirit, right? But anyway, their thought patterns are so different and so contrasting from what you will be taught in Journey's class, or what you'll be taught from your guardian angels, even, and things you're going to try to learn in the transforming of your mind. Okay, so therefore, they can affect you, just like how when you want to go outside and wear shorts, but it's snowing out, that affects how you're going to go out because now you got to put more clothes on. When certain things have an effect on us, it's excuse me one second. That's a prime example. My computer just acted up a little, but I want to show you this Emperor card. So that's basically it. He's the Emperor, and you'll get that stability too. All I'm saying is to be more prepared for the classes. People, places, and things that will distract you, you might have to cut back on them temporarily or eliminate them, sort of like weed your garden. Like get the weeds out, prune it. You have to prune your mind and your heart if you want to grow with your gifts. Because it's hard to grow when if you're out, you'll have psychic episodes at the mall with your friend, and your friend's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you're so crazy, you're so silly." And if you're a sensitive at that, especially if you're a water sign, oh Lord, oh don't mess with queen babies and king babies. The water signs are very sensitive and empathic. So as soon as they get that mockery and insult, then they're stuck with the choice. Like, do I keep this friend? Do I put them in check? What do I do? So to eliminate all of that while you're doing the spiritual work, you just let them know, like, hey, I'm going on a revitalizing self retreat for the most part. That's about it. That's all I have.
Right. I mean, just you got to know you first. If you get to know you first, you're going to be able to. So that's the first step. Know your thought patterns, know your energies. That means knowing what you feel, without thinking. Don't think about anything. Just feel your energy. If you can sit down for just a moment, and get that chance to feel what's going on around you, you'll feel the tingliness in your fingertips. You'll feel the energy radiating from your body. So that's one of the steps that I tell people to take when it comes to those types of things. So, it's just being in tune with yourself and knowing oneself. And Amy's an Aries. She's a water sign. Well, I'm a water sign too. I'm a Cancer, so I'm pretty much understanding to everybody that surrounds me here. So, to all the water signs out there. But the thing is that you guys got to know your body first, know your thoughts first. You get that down. You can graduate from that first class to actually going into learning about other things that lead into the more spiritual and tuned, getting to where each person, like I said, everybody's energy is like a fingerprint. Everybody's got a different one. No two energies are alike. There's not that are just the same exact energies. They're not. They all have a slight difference. Somebody may be more tuned in a different area than another person. So, all right.
Yep. Can I say something?
Sure.
Can you see? Oh, good. Okay. So, yeah, Spirit was showing me this card. I'm gonna try to put it up where it seemed really good. This is the Emperor. If you can notice, he does have the Aries on his chair. So that's good. She's an Aries. That's a fire sign, and you can see the mountains are fiery. So to me, that's a confirmation of what we were saying to you as far as knowing yourself. And I agree with Journey so much. You could Google it or buy a book even on astrology, numerology, and tarot. But the head knowledge versus experience and application have a definite difference. A definite difference. So it is better if you look into you on a personal level. That was actually one of the painful things in class, where it's like looking in the mirror at yourself and sometimes seeing the blemishes, and now you have to either change it or accept it. You have to love it though. Whatever's going to happen, you have to love it and embrace it. But I wanted to show you this again. This is the Emperor, and he's got the little rams there. That's Aries. See the mountains. I just wanted to. So obviously, you're going to have your own business or take a lead role in your finances at some point. Like, you're definitely here to set things up and have stability too. So you might want to look at that. I shouldn't have said obviously. But I used to get that for you, Journey. I'm like, wait a minute, now that's Journey's card, huh? Yeah, it's so bad when I get that King of Pentacles and that Emperor. It's like, wonder what Journey's up to. Yeah.
Yeah, you do it all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question was from Nina. It says, how do you hone in and all on your gifts so well with I have trouble with it? Well, the first thing you got to do, it's like a muscle, just like I tell everybody. It's like going to the gym. You walk in there, you're flabby, the energy's not there for the muscle yet, but you start working it. Okay, you started using it day 1. Day 2, you're a little tender. In this case, you're a little sensitive. It's okay. Absorb it. Skip the next
Okay,
day.
Journey,
Go to the next day.
You know
Do
I
what?
love gifts of faith. You know I love gifts of faith. And when I listen to
Yep.
her, and I haven't heard her whole show yet, but in the past when I did, I love it because she's like, and he's tall, but I'm short, so they're all tall, 5'3". But yeah, things come to her. Spirit sends her gifts and pictures and visions, and they're accurate, they're on point, they're precise, they're like pow, 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 and sharpened. And I love that about
Right.
her. And Jane, I admire yours too, where by working under you, I'm better at not working under you, but sort of like a mentor friendship thing or whatever. We rub off on each other sometimes. But I've learned, a few years ago, I'm like, wow, Journey's really good with these months and dates. So I actually added that on along with my gifts to where I can
Mhm.
clearly say, I can see the season happening, or if it's going on now, more defined and with more confidence. So before I never knew, I'm like, how can you tell somebody else's future? That's not possible. You know what I mean? But you
Right.
can. You can
Well,
because the
the
energy
energy
is going to
leads to that
follow.
as long as the person doesn't decide to make a change in the situation. You can always see when dates erase themselves, and this is something that
Mm-hmm.
y'all should know. If you're giving somebody a reading and all the dates that you start seeing when it comes to the reading start disappearing
Yeah.
and numbers and dates just start to disappear, that means by giving what information you just gave them, they're going
Mm-hmm.
to try to change. They're already in their mind changing it. They've already
Right.
changed what is happening. That's why I tell everybody when you give a reading and you talk to somebody, don't let them change their energy if the outcome in which they want is in that reading because they need to move forward with it. But if you
Right.
change that energy and you're like, well, I need to do this instead, or I'm just going to do what I want to do and not listen to what he said, but still think you're going to get the same outcome. No. You
Well,
can't
actually, there was a
color
reading
you
like
can't
that. Yeah.
color a ball white and say it's black. It's not black, it's white. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't do that. It's you may be able to claim it to be that, but it's not really that. And the reality of things is if you change and do things differently, energy is going to take the cheapest, fastest route. So be careful because
Yeah.
knowledge is power. And energy is going to take the
Energy is
shortest
like
route.
electricity. It
That's
takes the
why when I
path of
tell
least
people,
resistance.
well, with my people with the witchy stuff that like to, spellcasters is what I like to call them. The spellcasters, the people that like to put spells out there. They're like, oh well, I make spells and they always kind of like go awry or something doesn't happen that I wasn't expecting. I'm like, did you give it 100% direction? They're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you said you wanted money, but you didn't. You lit a green candle and say, I want money. La, 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 and you did whatever the hell it was that you were doing. You didn't tell the spirit, uh, I want it to come from this avenue of my life. I need this to build up in order to get this money. No, you lit a green candle. All of a sudden, your aunt dies, or you get into a car accident. And so, the energy in which you were hoping to be positive for yourself to help bring yourself up turned into a car accident, someone passing away because you got your money and inheritance, but you got that money. You lost your car, but you got that money. Your spell worked, but it backfired. Be specific. That's why back in the day they called it a book of shadows for a reason. It was not a tiny, 4 sentences will make my life completely different. Bull crap.
I
Real
love that.
spellcasters know that in order to get what you need, you have to be extremely detailed. It's like writing computer code. If you've ever gone online and was like, you know what, I'm going to write a program and I'm going to do this and it's going to do everything I say, you can't go to the code book and be like, please work like a chat room. Uh,
Yeah.
Not going to happen. It has zero direction. Give it direction or you may get what you want in certain aspects of it, but you're going to get some backfire on the other half. So be careful with that spell casting part because putting spells out there can be dangerous. Very dangerous. But yeah,
Especially if
in
you
order
send
to
it to
hone
somebody
in,
and they return the sender.
but the original question was, how do we hone in our gifts? So first of all, like I said, taking the first step of knowing who you are. Once you've done that part, you've done the first step, which is a very big step. By getting to that next step, which is, okay, what are my gifts? How do I hone into them? Okay, now that you know who you are, now we're going to start looking for what's next. All right, so when is the next time my gift's going to kick in? Now that I know myself so well, my gift's going to kick in right after that, because you use your gift on a daily basis and you don't even know it. You just use it very lightly. So now all of a sudden, while you're living your life and you're doing your normal thing, all of a sudden your gift kicks in and you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. That's my gift. And you'll realize it. You'll be like, you'll get goosebumps. You're like, holy cow. Now you know where your gift is at. Now we can start tuning in. Okay, how do you get your gift? Well, I hear it. How do you get your gift? Well, I see it. How do I get thought patterns? I hear spirit. Spirit talks to me in my head. You know, I get the vibrations. The vibrations tell me what's going on. I see images. You know, whatever it is or however it is you get it. Everybody gets it differently. Everybody sees it differently. Some people see it in color. Some people see it in black and white. Some people hear it in their head. Someone see it in their head. Some see it visually outside of their head, which is really cool projection power, by the way.
Yeah.
The thing is that there are so many different ways that everybody does things differently. And also, here's the best advice I could give you for the night. It is not a competition.
Ooh-wee.
It is not a competition. If you are psychic or you are a witch practitioner, it is not a competition to who's the biggest, the baddest.
My wand is bigger than your wand.
Just like the trolls that come into this room sometimes that are like, if you want your accurate reading, well, if you're so accurate, why are you on my site talking to the people that I was talking to? Clearly, you're not as good as you claim yourself to be, or you would be doing just fine on your own page. So that's what I'm saying. It's not a competition. We all have a different way of looking at things. We all have different abilities. I don't try to outrun or outmaneuver other people, but I will call out a bullshitter. If you've ever listened to my shows for the last 10 years last 10 years on the radio and the 2-year break, I mean, I was still doing lives and things like that, going on other people's shows, I will call you out for being a liar. If I can't get it to read and I see it to be a lie, I will call it what it is. And as you should do. Don't waste your time.
There was this one situation. Like many, many years ago, there was one situation where we had the 3-way line with the caller, and I was listening and learning, and the girl was saying about her girlfriend, and she was already living with someone else and never wanted to tell you that and tried to deny it. And I was like, really? She really got somebody living there? Later on, she admitted it, like, yeah, I do have someone else living here. But it's just funny. Even with the backfiring thing, I know, shout out to my beautiful daughter. She wouldn't mind me saying this. But one time she went for a consultation with you, and you told her, if you take my advice and do this, this is what's coming. This is where the energy's at. But if you go back to your old ways, this is where the energy's at. You know, so all you really have to do is just keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing really well. This is what you told my daughter. My daughter was like, oh, I'm a buck up against that. Like, my wand is bigger. Wait, here it is. I'm psychic too. And my wand is bigger than his wand. So I'm going to show him. And I'm going to do this and that just to see what happens. So she took the other route, the plan B route, and it did backfire. You know what I mean? It brought, like, now she's in such a better place. She's doing readings and everything. She's doing pretty good. But she had to really experience that to buck up against. She thought she was going against Journey Ryan, you know, but she was really trying to dispute the universe and the information given. She was going up against herself. And it just, she's a Sag. So I got my little Queen of Wands here. And, you know, one card I picked for you, I got this Ace of Wands for you not long ago. So it was like, my wand's bigger than your wand. Watch this. But somebody out there needed to see that Queen of Wands and really needs to look into that Aries and Leo. Aries, Leo, all of y'all. You know, and Sag, just because we're in December now. So happy birthday, Sag. God bless the fire signs. Seriously.
All right.
Oh, one more card just happened to come up, and I gotta show this one to everyone. The sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Well, we got another question here. We're going to take this question from Tamika. Tamika, I have a trip coming in January with my guy. I wanted to ask, do you see us getting closer on this trip, and when will he finally admit how he feels about me? Well, first of all, let's go here. The trip does bring you guys closer together. I mean, you guys don't really have a lot to, you know, to worry about from what I'm seeing here. I just get that there's a lot of, a lot of tug and pull here. Like he hides from his emotional self, so he's not really open with how he feels. It may seem like it to other, there was a bunch of feelings that he had to deal with a long time ago. He got burnt on them, Tamika. So ever since then, he went into recluse. He's like just pulled back, doesn't want to share those emotions. But eventually, he does open that gate to you. This trip does bring you guys closer. I do feel like the trip is good. And when it comes to actually feel it, you're going to see the actions of him and how he feels about you more so than he's going to tell you. But I do get slowly with time, you get those emotions in which he will express them verbally, not just physically, or won't be just sight. So you'll be able to feel it, hear it, and see it. So you'll get a bunch of that. But I'm going to hand it over to Trinity, and she's going to give you some insight on what she sees over here.
Yeah, it looks like you guys have a pretty good foundation, like in your relationship. It actually looks like a marriage, from the spiritual aspect of things, of the give and take. And also, if you notice, when you and him have run into obstacles and bumps in the road, you know what I'm saying? He's done his work. He's done his part to try to show you he's trying to change and get better. Spirit is singing a song to me right now. They're saying, "Is it in his kiss?" It's in his kiss. It's in his kiss. So he's already been trying to tell you how he feels. He doesn't verbalize it much because there were things going on with him. And you can fact check this if you want in his past, where when he was younger and he would say certain things, he would get deeply punished or scolded for that. So yeah, and his throat chakra, there's some blocks. Maybe you can get a throat chakra crystal if he's open to that, and gently play and like sit it near him. And you if you pressure him and ask him a lot of questions, that pushes him away. It puts him more in a hermit mode and makes him want more solitude. So he's definitely going to, recoil back a little. He's going to jump back a little if you want information and you ask him a lot. So this is a good way. You and him are have a good balance, like a nice couple. And the picture here is explaining it better, of that yin and yang. You just got to give him time and space. Sure, he's going to open up to you. I do see you getting closer on the trip. Also, I see, and you should also encourage it. I see a lot of comedy there. So, a lot of fun, a lot of fun, a lot of comedy. This trip has great potential to help you learn. Yes, that is him.
Yes,
Yep,
that
that's
is him.
him. And
Mm-hmm.
yep, but he's also showing you how to work on you in a sense, because you've done these things too. Like you've done the work on a relationship. You've bit your tongue, which is a lot. You bit your tongue and waited. So that's a lot of work right there. That's like working in a factory. That's like you're on your grind with this man. But you've done your work too. But he's also helping to cultivate you to learn to let you trust your spiritual gifts and go by faith, you know? Right.
He's a joking person.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for confirming that. I appreciate that because I think that's good for the listeners too. That when you're honest with the reader and say, "Yep, you are
Mm-hmm.
right. This is what's going on." So if you know he's a joking person, trust me when I tell you. If you just sit back a little bit more, and if you really want instant answers, oh my God, yes, sometimes almost totally. If you want instant answers from him, you can watch him and observe him. Because the more quiet you
Absolutely.
are, He's like
It's
a
a
child,
visual.
like a brilliant child. A brilliant child is this type. If you're in a room watching them, they'll just sit there and they'll be like, gaga, goo, goo, blah, blah, blah. As soon as you leave the room or close the door slightly, a brilliant child will be like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you ever hear him talking to like his mom or parents, you'll hear stuff where you're like, oh, I didn't even know you thought like that. So he's that type where, like I said, due to the past pains and harsh things going on, even in school environments and coworkers, he did sort of get in a position where there's some blockage there with him expressing. But the comedy does greatly help. And you guys, I really see you're going to have a really great time on that trip. So make sure you save some money for souvenirs too, because you're going to see a lot of stuff you're going to want to buy. Yep.
Very true, very true. And like I said, he was more of a visual person to know his feelings because you could read his emotions off his face.
It's in his kiss journey. This man kisses her like no other.
Well, I'm not trying to kiss him. I'm just saying you could
No,
also
I
see
don't want you to kiss him. I'm just saying, compared to her other guys.
I know what I'm saying. I'm being funny too.
Oh my goodness! Because I see your husband right there right now. How about that?
He's good.
He's physical and spiritual. Hello, journey husband.
But yeah, no, he you can see it in his face. You can read it in his eyes too. You can see the difference in his eyes. I would almost say there's like different tones to his eyes, knowing. Mm-hmm. So that's something that she can see. The way he's acting, you could see the passion. You could feel that's the difference in that is in his lips. That's a feeling of the passionate side. But the thing is that when it comes to verbally saying it, there's troubles, but she needs to take the humor that he puts forth. That's the way he, that's how he has troubles with. That's why he uses humor. That's his mechanism.
Like Kevin Hart, laugh at my pain. But yeah, I think he does it too. Also to uplift her, he likes her to smile and laugh and feel good. And when she's feeling weak and vulnerable and angry, and those, some of her negative emotions, it like makes him feel helpless, can't help her, which only she can fix that.
Right.
But it doesn't mean he doesn't love her though when he backs up and goes into his I'll show her the picture when he gets into his little hermit mood. He's not the average guy, so she didn't want to be with the average regular guy like from TV. She wanted him, so she has to take the whole package. And guys like him don't always like say, "Oh, I love you so much. You're so beautiful," but they will give you that kiss. I'm stuck on the kiss. Now I'm going to eat candy after the show, Journey, for the sweetness. I am.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna take one more question here for the night, and then we will take some more questions tomorrow. Tomorrow night is Thursday night, so we'll be here with Marin. She's going to do the dream interpretation. So if you guys have dreams and you want some questions, you have some questions about your dreams and what you're seeing in your dreams, we will be more than happy to answer those questions for you. We do that each and every Thursday night. Something cool to check out. So definitely don't hesitate to tune in. We'll be here. All right. So, Sierra, just curious about the guy I'm talking to, if he really is interested in me or because he changed his plans for some reason, acts like he doesn't want to come Saturday. I'm trying to take things slowly, but I get attached easily. I just don't want to get hurt anymore. Okay, so first of all, when it comes to the guy that you're talking to right now, him going back and forth, I know that you feel that you get attached easily. The thing is that he can feel your energy really strongly. So he's pretty in tune with how you feel and knows that you're putting forth more energy than he is at the time. It's freaking him out. And it's making him go back. He's pulling back. So it's not that he doesn't like you. He's just feeling overwhelmed because your energy is overwhelming him right now. I know that you don't mean to do it, and I don't think that you're trying to do it. You just want to be loved, and you want somebody to love you, and I get that. Everybody should have that feeling. But the thing is that because he's sensitive to the situation itself, because he's developing feelings, the same time you're developing feelings, so when he's feeling his own feelings, he starts feeling your feelings on top of it. So because he's feeling not just his own feelings, which he's already struggling with, he puts your feelings on top of it, and it's I can't handle this. I can't handle this cake. He's getting big helpings of this cake that he cannot handle. It's like eating a bag of sugar and having diabetes. Your body will not take it well, and that's what he's doing because he doesn't know how to handle his own emotional energy. On top of feeling your emotional energy, he starts to, realize. So the thing is that everything is moving in a certain way. The energy is feeling as how things, if you could slow it down a little bit by not expressing as much care right off the bat, kind of hold it back a little bit for a little bit longer, and you'll see a change in his energy. But I don't think that it's not like he doesn't dislike you. He just feels like he's feeling too much too quickly. It's just, how can I take it slower without thinking I'm pushing him away? Well, here's the thing. Men like the chase. They like to be able to impress. But when you're showing him all the emotion and all the attention while he was trying to impress you, where he's opening himself up to this very energy, you're going to see that he opens that door to want to pull you in if he feels you backing out. The same way you want to pull him in when you feel like he's backing out. So all you got to do is kind of hold back your energy a little bit. Don't give all the goodies out at one time. And this is like, that's like, say, survival. All right, guys, I got enough food to last this 2 weeks. We're going to be out here for 2 whole weeks. And then you sit there and eat all the food for the entire 2 weeks the first night. What are you going to do for 2 weeks? You're not going to be able to do anything. More than likely, you're in a coma where you exploded. That's what's happening with that energy. That's how he's feeling. So it's not anything that you're purposely trying to do, but realize what he's feeling and what you're feeling at the same time. Try to hold back. It does get the best of us, and we do get carried away. We're like little kids that way. So, don't worry. Okay, no one shut you off. You must have got bumped out somehow, but no one shut you off, Kay. I just wanted to put that out there. I seen her saying that she was very hurt, but nobody kicked you out of the group. All right, so the thing is that, just keep doing what you're doing, but slow down how you express your feelings towards him so he doesn't feel overwhelmed, and he'll stop this, come and go, come and go, come and go. Here I am. Oh, no, I'm backing up. Here I am. Oh, backing up. Because he's feeling his feelings. He feels excited to come to you. And then he feels his feelings and then your feelings on top of it. And then he backs up. So it can totally drive you crazy, for one, because then you go from being in a happy place for feeling good emotions to feeling insecurity and feeling like you need to give him more so he don't leave. He can't handle anymore. He's already taken the insulin shot. He's like, I can't. That's what the backing up from. That's why he backs up a little bit. That's his insulin shot. Then when he feels better, he comes back forward. But if you continue to keep, eventually insulin's not going to work anymore. It's going to be, just going to keep walking backwards until the relationship's no longer, because you'll be in such a state believing that he's not going to be a part of this relationship. So don't let this get to you. Don't throw out too much energy for him to feel. Try to let it out slowly. All right, I'm going to hand this over to Trinity, and she's going to give you some more information on what she sees.
And he's smiling because he's so psychic. He knows which direction I'm coming from. So there
Mm-hmm.
was a cartoon about a little girl named Amira, and she like see little animals, and she'd be like, "Oh, little kitty, I am gonna hug you and love you and keep you forever and ever." And the cats or animals, they be trying to get away, and she'd be like, "Time to get a bath." And she was just like a little girl, very cute and enthusiastic. And she has so much energy and so much love to give because she really loved animals. And they would try to run away from her, like, ah, like that. Now, that's not you. I'm not saying that's you. But let's just say in your situation, there's might be an opening for you because Spirit is letting me know that you have writing skills, okay, in high school. And I don't know if you did college, but I do see after high school writing still. And this might be a wonderful opportunity for you to like fantasize and indulge in like romance novels because in your there is a part of your psyche that does need to see a love and romantic relationship, you know what I mean? From beginning, middle to end, full manifestation and full blooming. Like that's just something deep inside of you. Like when we're little girls and we play with dolls and everything. And I'm thinking perhaps you can start that and just try it for a couple of days and see how it feels on you, but try like a fictional romance novel and get that energy out. If not, then there is a situation where there's a part of your soul that does want to pour this love out. And it's true, if you put all your eggs in his basket, if you try to pour it all on one person, that can be much. Everything else Journey was saying, if you have to just take everything Journey was saying in consideration with what I'm saying also, so as if I just said all of that too. But I'm just saying that this might be a wonderful opportunity, and it might be your soul showing you that there's so many different ways that you could pour your love out, and there's so many different souls that could use your love. And for men, it is definitely a big turnoff when the girl is insecure. For good men, it's if the girl is like, "Oh, you hurt my feelings. Oh, you don't like me. Oh, you pushed me away," that it's almost actually insulting to the guy at some point because you don't know what he had to go through to get to you that day or who he turned down to be with you. So you kind of don't want to express that. So when Journey's saying pull back, he's not saying don't call him, don't talk to him, isolate him, or just play little head games to push him back and pretend you don't want him. Journey's speaking about within. He's talking about within your mind and your heart, how you express that love. Like you don't have to, you know what I mean? And it's good to treat the person you love and romance them, but like when you just give all that so much so fast, and you have to take what he's saying, what Journey's saying, and look back with your memory and experiences you've had and situations you've had with him, and then it will connect and then it will make sense. So going forward, that's why I'm suggesting this might be a good time for you to write romance novels or tap in more to your inner being. Will also do that, but find out where this love, where you need to put it instead of
She
just
says,
like,
Sierra says, I'm very, very down on myself, and he brought that up to me already. So, yeah, see, that's something you need to be paying attention to because your emotions are affecting him.
it's very frustrating, in any dynamic of love, whether it be parental, sibling, romantic, if the person truly loves you and cares or just likes you a lot and they think you're awesome, but you're like, no, I'm not that good. No, I wasn't that great. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like that. And the person's like, they just want to shake you and say, damn it, I love you. I think you're great. Why don't you think it? So maybe it is that if you write those romance novels and you get that woman, it doesn't have to be you and journaling, but you get that woman and you create that woman that's with that man and you write that story of what they did and what they said and how they did it and sort of live through them a little bit. And you know what I mean? You just have to also accept yourself a little bit more. But the insecurity, like I said, that definitely pushes people away because you're blocking their love. So therefore, that's also very uncomfortable. I don't know, like there's not more I can say on that except you are very appreciated for like the good that you do and that you have been doing to people. And that fear of being hurt, that can make that happen. I promise you that. If you think it, and you feel it and it's combined in your heart, if your mind is telling you this guy's going to hurt me, no matter what he says or does, he's still going to hurt me, and you're feeling it, he's going to hurt me. Yeah, eventually you're going to make that a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that to me is a tricky situation, because even if with his own free will he chooses to only pour love on you, it's possible he can pour love on you, but just because of your mind and your heart and your true beliefs, you create your own reality. So if you want that to be your reality, that's what it will be. So that's where I strongly advise you, go ahead and indulge in the love and the romance and the fantasy within yourself through writing, or just dance. Even if you have to pretend you're a dancer, just role play every now and then, just to get those things out. Because everything Journey said is right, and there's not really much you can do about that, like with him. Like, you can't change him. So you can't really explain to his mind enough to say, hey, blah, 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 blah. He's going by what he's feeling. And also the way Journey described this guy, he appears to be empathic also, and also like have some psychic gifts. And he sees where this is heading. So I would consider that too. I would consider that very strongly. Like, it's sort of like having a boyfriend you're in love with, and they know what you're thinking and they know your next move. So it might make you want to rethink how you're going to move next. But to anyone who loves anyone, when that person rejects it or pushes it away or doubts it or downgrades it, after a while it's frustrating, and it wears that lover down, and that lover almost has to move on. Like, they don't have a choice, because if they stay in that place with that person, they're going to go down and be depressed, and it's just not going to be good for either of them. Love you. I hope you receive that. Don't put no window shades up. Let the sun shine in, girl. Open them blinds. Let the sunlight in, girl. You deserve it, because you definitely are a lover.
Well, absolutely. And, don't be your own self-saboteur either. You don't want to be the one who's, you're tearing yourself apart because you're feeling a certain way, but you're not really knowing his emotions, but you're thinking they're one way and they're not that way. So that's how we get in our own heads. That's how we start, feeling a certain way and not, really seeing what these things are. And it can be damaging.
I can say to her credit though, she doesn't allow like other people to influence her. Like, most of her bad thoughts about herself are from the past or her own criticism. Like, she's her worst critic. But I really love her energy, how like her friends and peer groups, when they try to persuade her, she stands on her own. She keeps her integrity no matter what. But that's also a downside, because it's sort of like if they tell her you did a great job on that, or oh, I like that, she'll be like, no, it's nothing. I mean, I just threw it in the oven. I didn't do much. It's like, what? That was a masterpiece meal. No, it wasn't nothing. So she's got it right. She got it right and have it down.
It's and then the way you just said it too, it's learn how to take a compliment. Even if that compliment comes from yourself, and you are the last person to compliment yourself. You will not compliment you, but you will compliment everyone else, even though some of the people you're complimenting are train wrecks. But you're trying, I'm just trying to make them feel better. Well, why don't you do that for you? How come you won't compliment yourself? Because you're afraid to do so, because you take in what, exactly what Trinity just said. You take in what other people have said about you in the past. You hold on to them. You never let it go. And then that's what you see reflecting back in the mirror.
I'll say this too, though, like, in defense of some, and it's usually men with women, but it can go both ways. But and this is for the general public, not for who we're speaking with. There's times where women have been like suicidal over men, like, if you leave, I'll kill myself. So if a guy feels like the girl's moving fast and loves him a lot, or if she's talking about having children really fast, or when can we live together, and things go at a faster pace than they can process it or they're ready for, then that does scare guys away. But like I said, there's a reasoning behind that, because sometimes that person, male or female, may have dated someone who ended up being like a stalker, or wanted to attempt suicide over them or sabotage them in some way. So when they start seeing little signs, they sort of back up. But then in our the person we're talking to in her case, that's not her at all. That's not her at all. But he might misunderstand it and misread some of it. You know, he wouldn't think that about her. He would not. And that's not her. But he might see certain patterns and say, hey, you know, she's starting to remind me of such and such, though. Like that. So it could just be that thing. Like, to me, I love her. She reminds me of Elmira. Oh, kitty cat, I love you so much. I'm going to hug you and squeeze you and hold you forever and ever. You know, like, that's a beautiful thing.
Well, Sierra said too, she says that's absolutely true. And I love helping people, though. You can help people. No one's saying you can't help people, but you also need to know when to help yourself as well. How to compliment yourself and be like, you know what? I really like myself in blue. And be like, I look really good today. You're going to have that in your mind, but you're also going to notice that other people are going to compliment you and be like, hey, Journey, you look really good in blue. Do you know that makes your eyes look lighter?
That's what I was thinking about you. Get out of my head. Stop. Where's my, let me get my fan. I was thinking that earlier. We were already on a different topic, but I was thinking how really I love your new shirt and the way that you're buying new outfits for every show and dressing for success. And it's like you're putting that work behind it and you're a living example to the other entrepreneurs who's watching. So that's a great blessing. But yeah, I do like the eyes, and they change colors, and one's sort of greenish and one sort of bluish. I hope, did you see that in the picture I sent you?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I did.
Oh, good. You pay attention to detail. I definitely put a green dot.
I certainly do.
Okay. Good. Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is a lot of people, you know, and that's why I tell people, you know what, if you want to dress up and vacuum your floor in your house, dress up and vacuum your floor in your house. And,
yeah,
you
I'm
know,
actually wearing a dress.
You got to do whatever makes you feel happy. And apparently, Sierra was thinking that too.
You're in everybody's head. Stop it.
The thing about it is that, you know, when you go and you do something good for yourself, you're always worried about what everybody else is going to think. Well, why does it matter? Did you feel good? I feel good, so I'm going to dress up. Do you go? And I know there's tons and tons of Facebook and YouTube channels that have psychics and things like that. Not all of them dress up like this, but I wanted to. I wanted to be different. It makes me feel good inside. I like being professional. This looks very professional to me. I mean, with a little bit of casual set on the jacket, but I'm, you know, naturally 100 degrees, so I would have to turn the air conditioning on in this office in order to, you know, and it's 32 degrees outside, so you could just imagine how much heat I'm actually using. 0. But yeah, you know, it's just one of those things, you know, don't tear yourself down. Do what you need to do. Feel good about yourself. Do what feels good to you. And, you know, and the younger generation has it a little bit better than we do as adults, because these younger generations, they're dyeing their hair pink and they're dyeing their hair purple and they're wearing clothes you would have never thought in a million years people were going to wear. But guess what? They're doing it because why? They like it. It makes them feel good. It gives them, you know, and still right now popularity, but the way clothes are today were not the way clothes were when I was back in high school. You were judged by your clothes big time, more so now, so more then than you are now. It's a little bit of a different time now. So it's different. People are a little bit more accepting. I'm not saying that bullying is gone and, you know, everybody's just love pony and rainbows, but you're seeing more acceptance each time a new generation comes in. You're seeing that they're being able to express themselves a little bit more. I had a guy that came off to me the other day and he said something completely I died laughing because I thought it was hilarious. But to some other people, it would come off rude. And he goes, "Do you ever notice there's more gay people than there ever were before?" I was like, well, I said, judging by the way you talk, your education's more than likely at a 3rd grade level. I said, but secondly, I said, there are about the same amount of gay people that there ever were. I said, just more people are out of the closet. They don't have to live in a closet. I was like, so there's your knowledge for ignorance right there, buddy. And he just looked at me and I was like, what? I was like, there's just the same amount as there were before. They're just more open about it. And that's what I'm talking about, being open and being allowed to be yourself. Same thing with wearing the clothes you want to wear, doing your hair the way you want to do it. Guess what? If you want to put your eyeliner from here and into your ear line, guess what? Do it. It makes you feel good. You think it looks good? Does it look good on you? Because what looks good on you doesn't always look good on somebody else, but it looks good on you. And as long as you like it, that's all that matters. And if anybody else is going to laugh at you, that shows you where they are in their own life, because they're constantly judging themselves.
So true. Now that was some tea.
So
You don't
let
told
those
on
judge
everybody.
themselves. They're their own worst enemy. And, that's what the bullies are. And everybody's like, oh, they're just mad because they're jealous of you. No, they're not. They're hating themselves. It's not jealousy. It's a hating of themselves. That's why they're tearing you down, because they hate something about them. It's not jealousy.
And I love her
I think
hair.
that when I was younger, I wasn't a bit of a bully until I realized, you know what? There's a part of you that you hate. And because you couldn't control that part of you, you started picking on other people, so you felt better by tearing them down, so they hated themselves, because misery loves company. So if you could bring somebody down to your level, now you've got somebody on the same playing field as you. Let's call it what it is. And the one lady that I was talking to, she was like talking to a kid. Yeah, he was, they made fun of his clothes. And that was one of the things. They were making fun of his clothes. His parents didn't have a lot of money. And they're like, they're just making fun of you because they're jealous of that shirt of yours. I'm like, no, they're not. I was like, they hate themselves. I was like, I told the kid, and he looked at me and gave me a hug, and not the lady telling him they're jealous of you. Because you think that little kid's buying that they're jealous of? No. That little kid's like, they hate me because I don't have the right clothes. And you know why that kid's picking on you? Because they hate themselves. There's something about them that they can't stand. It isn't their clothes that's bothering them. And it's not your clothes they're jealous of. It's something deeper inside them that's more psychological than you know. So that they have to destroy you as a human being and destroy your happiness so they can feel better. You ever play them RPG games where you're in the game and the monster throws a potion or something at you, and all of a sudden your life force goes down, and all of a sudden they obtain it?
Yeah.
And now you've got to beat it back out of them? That's exactly what they're doing.
Sorry.
We just don't call it RPG. It's just real. That's what we're really doing. So, all right, guys. I know we took that a little bit further and a little bit longer, but we definitely want to say thank you guys so much. For anybody,
I'm just gonna let her know that like her hair is so strong and beautiful and healthy looking, and her smile's really pretty, and maybe she could just start with small basic stuff like that. Sierra, I love your hair. If you get it cut, let me know. I'll buy it.
She has the confidence. It's the doubting. She has the confidence.
Yeah.
She's just got to stop doubting. She's her own worst saboteur. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Trinity, for being on the show tonight. And we will catch you next Wednesday is our last show before the new year.
Yep.
When it comes to the weekly shows. And then we'll take the 2 weeks off for Christmas and the week after, and then we'll be back in January. But we still have one more week of shows.
All righty. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Appreciate being here. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Trinity. All right, guys. We want to say thank you so much for coming out. Tune in tomorrow night. We're going to be here with Marin. Marin is going to tell you guys all about dream interpretation and what things mean in your dreams. Until then, this is Journey Ryan signing off. Everybody, have a great night.